Good morning, Orchard STEM School. This is Mr. Hoydick, the art teacher. Today we are working on our artwork inspired by Romare Bearden, and specifically his piece of artwork called Wrapping It Up at the Lafayette. The Lafayette was a theater that was across from his house. You can see I printed up my example of the artwork here to kind of look at it and be inspired by it. I really like the background on this, so I used a lot of that. And you can see I took some different parts. The dancers on the stage, well, they're my dancers. I sketched them out. I didn't put the guitar player here. I left him out. Stand-up bass player, I put there. Piano player, I put over there. And so you can see I have different parts that I used to be inspired by and to put in my own artwork. Now it's time to color it in. And before I start to color it in, what I'm going to do is use a black colored pencil, and I'm going to just outline some things to give it a little bit more form, a little more definition. And if I want to add more details today, I can. But I actually think I'm pretty good. I don't need to add anymore. And if you remember from last week, I had explained that this background looks like the art form of batik, which is a dyeing technique, usually done on fabric, but sometimes paper, where you use wax and dye, and it makes really neat effects. And so you can see I'm just tracing some of these lines to make sure I know where they are and know what I'm doing. And here's the moon. And the trees here. You know what? I want to skip down here and put some costumes, some outfits on the dancers. I'm still keeping it a little sketchy. And if you remember that his work was a collage. So he used different art forms. For instance, newspapers, paint. Like I said, that batik dye. And that really made it have lots of details and lots of texture. Lots of things to look at. This vine or snake, I want to kind of have bend a little bit more. And I'll trace this in here a little bit. Now to start coloring, I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to start with this greenish area. So I'm going to use a dark green, and I'll actually look for all the areas that the dark green is. And I'll get the top of my paper. Always be careful on the top of the paper because it likes to fold or rip. And I'll trace around the shape first. That's a technique I'd like you to use. And then when you color it in, you can have all your lines going in the same direction. And that'll make it look nice. Now this piece is at the Cleveland Museum of Art, but it's not on display. And you know what? I see there's a little bit of green down here. I'm actually going to look for different parts of green. And since I'm using the green now, I'll color the green parts in. It helps me be kind of methodical when I add color to my artwork. And methodical means you have a method. It means that you have a sort of a plan. And there's a little bit of the green over here, but it's also blended. I can see that it turns into a lighter green. We did a Romare Bearden artwork last year, but it was more of a black and white one. He used more newspaper pieces. And if you remember, it was a scene with a brick wall and brick steps and that sort of thing. So we used a lot of brick textures. Now for the light green. And you can see I'm blending in the light green and not even in all of that area. And this up here, I'll add the light green. So please finish your sketch of Romare Bearden, wrapping it up at the Lafayette before you start to color. That way you'll have two assignments. You'll have the drawing assignment to turn in, and you'll have this coloring assignment. Went a little bit outside the lines, and that's okay. You can always fix it. There we go. Just add an extra line. And there's this green part down here. So far I've only used light green and dark green. And you can see I'm tracing the edge and then coloring it in. And I actually want to add some dark green to the edge, and I'm coloring in a circle. That'll really blend it in. There we go. Finally, I see down here, well, the snake or vine, I'm not sure what it is. And this part down here, I'm going to blend in yellow. You know what? I'm going to put a little bit of green on the face of the mask. And that'll help it blend. Also the edges of the tree here. And if I can see the white of the paper, that's a great time for me to try to blend in to make the color nice and solid. All right. Now, yellow and orange for this area. I'm going to have to hold my paper. And be careful on the edge. Oh, like that. Just what I was worrying about. So, let me get back in there above it. There, perfect. As they say, perfecto. Do you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of yellow in throughout here and right there, and finally this area here, and the moon. Adding some green on this, what appears to be some sort of leaves or bananas, or I don't know what it is. But it sure looks cool. I'm actually going to add a little bit of blue to the top of it and the edges. Just the edges. That's a nice technique that'll let you add color and add another detail that will look nice. There we go. Now I do want to add yellow to this part, and this part, and that part. And now I'm going to blend in some orange, but I'm going to press lightly so that the yellow still shows through. And on this part. Next, time to go purple or violet, and I will outline where I'm going to color first. Careful on the edge of the paper. And I'll trace around the mask, around the body, and around the leaf. And try to have all your lines going in the same direction when you color. I notice I want to make this tree trunk sort of like a yellowish orange as well. I'll do that in a minute. And there we go. And actually, you can see purple on the inside of the mask's headdress. Let's make this line nice and sharp. And also between these two elements. Fun. Careful at the edge of the paper, always. And I've noticed like some parts I go slow on because it needs precision, and some parts I will go fast on because I can just do it quick. All right. Now I'm going to have all my lines going in the same direction. Yeah, it's turning out nice. I'm going to do this section now on the right here. Because I traced, I can go a little bit faster. But if I see the white of the paper, I better go back and fix it. Let's see, I see some lighter spots, so I'll color that in a circular motion to really fill it in. Let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to do the central area now. And this I can go a little faster. Oh, I haven't traced here, so I better slow it down and do some more precision. Nice and precise. Okay. Great. Moving on. And let's get near the stage. Now, I'm going to very lightly color in on the mask because it is sort of purple and green mixed together, blended together. There's the purple part. And we'll add the green in just a minute. First, let's finish this purple part. And of course, you guys can use any colors you want. You don't have to make it green and purple like this. You want a different background, do a different background. And I can see some pencil lines, so. Oh, and also there's purple on this side. Nice. Now I'm going to add some more green to this part that had the mask around the edges. Nice. That's what I want. All right. Moving along. I see some yellow on the outfits. There we go. Let's have some brown for the skin. And finally 3. There we go. And let's see, the stage is like an orangish. And so, drop that down. Trace around our bass player. And you can see I spent most of the time on this, on the background. That was the part of the picture really appealed to me the most. But I wanted to have these other aspects, these other elements, because they give lots of detail. Especially the performers. And so I'll trace around these individuals, women dancing. And Romare Bearden lived right across the street from this theater, so I'll bet you he was in there all the time. That's what his biography said. There we go. Now let's take this line across. Also, a little bit on the tree. Oops. Let's add a little bit of green. And let's get this stage together. Careful on the edge. I want to color in the stage vertical. And it won't be just orange. I'm going to blend in another color with it. You know what? Maybe I'll use some purple. To add some lines on a stage like that. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. The back of the Piano Man is yellow. Oh, careful on the edge of the paper. Always careful. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use black and brown to outline our jazz man. A bright bass player. And with the black, we'll add a little details for his features. Trace around a little bit, give him some more definition. And let's see, we'll do that the same with the piano. And the back of the piano player's head. Careful on the edge of the paper. And some detail on the piano player's head. There's his body. Add some details to the piano, like so. And then the very bottom looks like it is like a blue. Like blue and black mixed. Oops. And so this is like a blue violet. I think it'll look nice. So we'll put that horizontally between our musicians. Over here on the side of the stage. And then let's use that black. So we're going to add some shapes, some texture. And we can actually shade it around our musicians. Alright. A little detail here and there. See, I'm outlining a little bit, not too much. And an outline where the stage meets and where the stage ends. All right. Here's my picture inspired by wrapping it up at the Lafayette. I can't wait to see your artwork. And please turn it in, submit it when you're finished. Have a great day. And thanks.